If you're thinking about making a move here to Naperville, Illinois, and living here, you are probably extremely overwhelmed on, what to kind of expect, especially if you're making a move here from the state of Chicago or from out of state. And there's just so many things to living in a new area. So in today's video, we are going over everything on what you should probably want to know and what a lot of people might overlook when it comes to making a move here to Naperville. And we're going to get after it right now. But before we get into all the content, if you can do 2 seconds, because we bring out weekly content just like this about what's like living, playing, and everything else between here in the Chicagoland area, but just hit the subscribe button, leave a like, because I'll tell YouTube we're doing a good job in making this video kind of thing, because we make these videos for you guys to make better decisions when it comes to making a move here to the Chicagoland area. And the first thing is, if you're moving here to Naperville and you have a job in the city of Chicago, but you want to live here in the Naperville area, is that location truly matters, in my opinion. Is that, if you are taking the train to the city of Chicago, Naperville has 2 train stations, and there's also train stations around the surrounding areas. But here in Naperville, there is one train station that is more in the north side, which is like downtown Naperville, and that train station is just south of Ogden. And then you have another train station that is on Route 59 as well. But if you're one of those people that, rather not be on the train because you don't want to be, surrounded by a lot of people, or you kind of just really just truly want control when you get to, to the city of Chicago for work, and you have, a pretty flexible schedule, that, depending where you live in North or South Naperville, is that you probably want to be pretty close to the highways to get that easy access to take you all the way east to the city of Chicago. And depending on whether or not you live in North Naperville or South Naperville, it can be about a 15 to 30 minute difference, truthfully. I have some clients that live all the way in South Naperville, and it'll take 59 all the way up to kind of get to the highways. But it just depends what people truly want. So if you are relocating here for work and your job is in the city of Chicago, I think that's one big thing on the list, because Naperville is so huge and there's so many different places to live. So that's something you should definitely put on your list, is that, you're working in the city of Chicago, you definitely want to know that location truly matters. So quick, if you have thoughts on making a move here to Naperville, Illinois, whether it be next week or next year, reach out, because my team and I would be absolutely honored to serve you. We help a ton of families relocate to the area every single year, and we're honored to do that for you guys. Call, text, shoot me an email. All my information is down below in the description. And something you need to know, especially if you're purchasing a home here in Naperville, Illinois, that a lot of people overlook. But here in Illinois, we have something called real estate transfer stamp. So depending on, the town that you live in, either the seller pays for the transfer stamp, and sometimes the buyer pays for the transfer stamp. But here in Naperville is that the buyer actually pays for the transfer stamp. So I'm going to pop something up on the screen right now. You can kind of see the equation, and it's about every $500 on the purchase price of a home equates to about $1.50 towards that. So every $500 is $1.50. So you just got to do the math when it comes to your home sale purchase. But pretty much before closing, you go pick up that transfer stamp. But what my attorney and I do is that we pick up the transfer stamp for you. And we kind of make that happen. And a lot of people that relocate to the area are always just like to me, Grant, I didn't know about this transfer stamp and everything like that. A lot of times it gets really overlooked, and it's just part of your closing costs, that I would say. But to put in perspective, there are other surrounding areas that are much, much higher, truthfully. So $1.50 for every $500 is really not that bad, but it's just really something to keep in mind, especially if you're looking to purchase a home here in Naperville, because if you're purchasing $1 million home, that transfer stamp can be pretty hefty. Just something you need to budget for sure. Next thing I want to say is that you got to figure out if you prefer a newer home or an older home when it comes to living here in Naperville. So like I've said before, is that Naperville is pretty big, and I've done a lot of videos on, like just basically living in Naperville in general. And I'll probably link a video down below in the description that talks about North and South Naperville. But, typically North Naperville has some of your older homes here. And, if you want to kind of get that modern home feel and be close to downtown Naperville still, you're probably looking at a pretty hefty price tag, truthfully. But, South Naperville kind of has your newer homes, built in the 2000s, late 90s and stuff like that. A lot of brick facing homes, vinyl siding exterior, cedar siding exterior, but a lot of brick facing, all brick all around. But it truly just depends on kind of that price point there as well. And a lot of times that I want to point out is that, when it comes to North and South Naperville, especially looking for newer and older homes, is that, I have a lot of people that are relocating here. And surprisingly, I've gotten a lot of phone calls lately from people from Florida looking to relocate back to the Naperville area. Is that a lot of times these people are on these, newer homes and everything like that. And they, they moved to Florida a long, long time ago before South Naperville was really truly getting developed. So just them knowing that, you're probably going to get more of your brand newer homes or just closer to today's date in that South Naperville portion. But, like I said before in, previous videos, is that South Naperville is typically primarily District 204, and then North Naperville is District 203. And with that, when I talk about schools right here, is that's another big thing in this list, especially if you're moving here for schools, because niche.com actually ranks Naperville the #1 place for the best public schools in all of America. So a lot of the phone calls and you guys reaching out to me is typically looking to, make a move to Naperville for schools for your kids. And what I usually recommend telling my clients that call me is that it's always best to work backwards, especially when it's starting out your home search. Is that, there's a lot of great resources online when it comes to District 203 as well as District 204. And, there's plentiful public high schools here as well. So if you kind of know which high school that you want your, kids to belong in, it's always best to do your research online to get further information. If you email me, I can give you some more links on, all those different areas as well. But, it comes to going on those Facebook groups, calling those schools and everything like that as well. When you kind of narrow down which public high school you want to go to for your kids, is that if you have younger kids that are in elementary or middle school, there are a lot of elementary and middle schools here in Naperville, Illinois. So kind of when you pick, where you kind of want to end up, it's easier to kind of put the parameters around those searches. And a lot of times, and here's kind of a secret a lot of people don't know, is that there are other towns that actually filter into, District 203 and District 204 as well. There's parts of Aurora, parts of Lyle, parts of Bolingbrook that filter into these schools. So truly just depending, you can get into these districts in different areas as well, different surrounding towns to the Naperville area. But like I said, when it comes to schools, working backwards is truly, beneficial. And, if you realize that you're kind of open in the air, focusing on kind of what the homes, proximity to downtown Naperville and things like that could, go a long way as well. And, the last thing here when it comes to making that move to Naperville, Illinois, something that's truly big on this list is that even if you just had thoughts about making a move here to Naperville, you got to reach out to my team and I, because, we help a lot of clients and answer a lot of questions on a specific basis to basis. And, everyone has different needs. So starting the conversation truly early in your search can go a long, long way. I mean, I have an example right now is that, I just helped some clients relocate to Naperville that reached out about 2 years ago. And we kind of got that search and that dialogue going and everything like that. And they just recently closed. And I helped another family last year that I did a YouTube video on, Dan and Mary, that are incredible people that, made that move to Naperville, but they started a dialogue really, really early as well. So wherever you are in your search, whether you're moving here for family, moving here for schools, or even moving here for a job, we got your back when it comes to making that move here to Naperville, Illinois. So, like I said, my team and I, we serve a ton of people every single year, whether it be relocating from the state of Chicago or from out of state. All you gotta do is give me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. All my information is down below in the description. And like I said, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like, drop a comment down below on what you want to see next. Watch one of these videos up here, you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video.